I'll call the meeting to order. And
Hello.
is someone available to take minutes? Oh, great. Thank you.
Going back.
Yeah, I mentioned that because I think what we'll do is come to approve the September minutes at the November meeting, since we do not have a draft as of right now.
Okay.
So with that, I will move on to visitor comments. And it's my understanding we do have visitors today.
Yeah, we have two.
I'll just let you go ahead and take it away.
Hi everyone, my name is Franklin Rosario. I'm a resident here in Webster. I also work for a company called Ripple Glass. We are a glass recycling company specializing in kind of glass only drop-off locations. We were started in Kansas City in 2009. We've built a pretty extensive program there, and we're looking to take that blueprint that's been so successful and implement it in other metro areas. So St. Louis is next on that list. Very excited to say. We're currently looking for partners to help us host the bins. Bin hosting comes with almost no responsibility. We kind of take care of everything. It's no cost to the city. We just essentially need a parking spot. It's a standard roll-off bin that citizen can freely and easily come and deposit their used glass into. Once it's full, we come and pick it up. We take it to our plant in downtown St. Louis. It's processed in a furnace-ready bottle cullet, and then it's sent to Peabody, Missouri, just about 30 minutes south, where it's processed where it's manufactured into new bottles that end up right back here. So super circular. So it's a pretty cool story, and like I said, we're looking for partners. I've been talking with Todd quite a bit. I'm sure he can give an update as well, but I just wanted to more come today and introduce myself. Let you know I'm here. If there's ever any spots on the commission, something I'd love to join as well. Again, being a resident here. So thank you for your time. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So that sounds great, but how do you incentivize people to bring them to your bin instead of just putting them in their recycling that gets picked up by someone else?
Sure. So it's really about education, and that's what we try to promote the most. We're not looking to disparage single stream recycling, which is what we have here. Because at the end of the day, that creates a lot of volume, and that's a good thing. We're about best and highest use. Our glass gets made in new bottles. It's just a fact. We have a over 90% recovery rate. With single stream in a perfect world, we're talking about maybe 40% with regards to glass. That's in a perfect world. Probably realistically a lot lower than that. So we're going to make sure that we tell our story and show that transparency, and the people will come. The people that care about this kind of thing and that are going to use these bins are the same that make sure there's no food or plastic bags in their recycling bins already. So that's kind of the goal.
Okay.
We're big on education and social media and teaching people about glass recycling in general.
Cool. All right. Thank you for the name of your company.
Ripple Glass. I actually have a gift for you guys.
And their bins are bright purple.
Yeah.
Oh.
These are recycled. They're made out of recycled plastics. Tote bags to keep your glass in.
Oh, cool.
Thank you. They're custom to STL.
Thank you.
Great.
You want my tool?
Sure, I'll take it.
Thank you. There you go.
That's cool.
Yeah, the website's not up and running yet, but it will be. Our general website is the St. Louis tab is not.
Jeff and Elizabeth, do you want us
You
to
missed out.
do you want us to get some bags for you? You're muted. You're muted.
I was going to say we have lots of bags.
They're always good for an extra tote as well.
Can a visitor ask a question?
You can have a bag. Yeah, you can ask a question as well.
No, but like you guys crush glass, and Todd, is crushed glass used like in paving equipment, paving material? You know what I mean?
It is, but not in the St. Louis area that I'm aware of
Okay.
right now. So
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So that would be using it as like an aggregate fill.
Exactly.
And that is a reuse, but again, that's a single reuse, right? And we're trying to make it, because glass can be infinitely recycled. Yeah, put it back into new bottles.
Got it.
Shelves. Cool. Any other questions? Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you guys.
Thanks so much for stopping by. I look forward to learning more.
No problem. See you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Any other visitor comments?
Dave Buck is here.
All right.
Yeah, really quick. This two things. First of all, I've been thinking a lot about
people say Webster Groves is a walkable community, right?
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They say it all the time. Says, what makes Webster unique, and usually walkability is close to the top of the list. The question, what does that mean? Does that mean that things are just geographically closer, so it's easy to walk to? Or are we actually big walkers? Do we walk more? Do more of our residents walk on average than, say, Kirkwood or Glendale or any neighboring communities? And I think, given that walking is the world's most sustainable physical activity, and I think bicycling second, is that how can the city better promote people to actually get out and walk somewhere? And what's interesting is that, outside there are like 7 historic walking tours. This is the first one. It's called the Heart of Webster. How many of you have ever done this? One. Okay, 1 out of 6. I've never done it. I don't know anybody that's ever walked on any of these historic walks.
I taught a class with the theme of walking.
There you
And
go.
so we used one of those in there.
Good for you.
And
That's
those-
awesome.
That symbol is in the concrete sidewalk. So you can walk up and see those, and that's the walking tour.
And that is the walking tour, but it's self-initiated.
Yes, correct.
And all I'm saying is that it's like with bicycling. We love the fact, and we hope you all will continue as our partners on Webster on Wheels, which is always the first Sunday in May. But our group also puts on 3 or 4 different walks throughout the year. I mean, walking events like Webster's only dog walk. Porch Fest is the only walkable music event. We have the steeplechase walk, but they're single day events that get people out to walk, versus these things are self-initiated and just how many people actually do it. So, we would encourage more partnership with you guys in the events that we put on, but just outside of that, I think the challenge is, how do we get people in Webster Groves actually to walk more often?
Make gas more expensive.
The other thing that I wanted to bring up is that when Jamie was here, and Paul, you remember, we had talked really initially and briefly about the possibility of a kids concept called the Sustainables, taken from the Incredibles, which is a Disney thing called the Sustainables. It would be a kid-directed club. It'd be a kids club, maybe no different than like the Adventure Club, in the school district. But it's real kids doing really good things for the earth. And obviously things like bicycling and walking and stuff are sustainable activities that our kids can do. But what's interesting is that I did a lot of kids marketing in my career, and my brother and I have been like batting this around. And all really great kids properties, they're usually the battle of good versus evil. There's always a bad guy. There's a wicked witch. There's a Captain Hook.
Are you talking about stories?
Yeah, stories. Yeah, and properties, kids' properties. And the Incredibles had a villain. And it's interesting that if I had to pick one for a kids thing, it's the classic paper versus plastic. It's the classic question that everybody knows. They still ask it at the grocery store when I check out at Schnucks, paper or plastic, and you have a choice to make to benefit the environment via paper, or not so much by doing plastic. And what's interesting about the word plastic is that, what does it mean if I said, Paul, you're a plastic person? You're plastic. What does that mean? You're fake. You're superficial. You aren't real. And see,
What if you said he was paper though? I don't know, that would be my.
but like sustainable kids are real. The plasticide, the plastic kids are like fake. They're superficial. And I just think it could really be fun, but I'm planting the seed because, we're all involved in a bunch of stuff, and it's like, I don't really want to think about it much unless there's just even the glimmer of interest on your part. And we'll come back and we'll present an idea, a more fleshed out idea for you all to consider. I think it's really fun.
I think that's a really cool idea. Do you know Eric Hayes over at Hickson, who has the sustainability class? He's a teacher.
No.
Yeah, so he gave our last eco ed lecture and he is doing absolutely amazing things with the kids over there. And in fact, he started out teaching something else. He was doing just some kind of science and he got to offer this one sustainability class as an elective, and now that is all he's teaching because it's so popular. And they're doing all kinds of stuff in that courtyard, like they have chickens and garden and I mean, I just wonder if there's some connection to be made there.
No, I think definitely, but it's the old thing that kids are the hope of the world, and it's and kids are going to be how we change.
And these kids, get their parents involved. Like he said, when they aren't in school, like on the weekends in the summer, they have to have people sign up to take care of the chickens, and they can't. They don't have enough slots for people who want to take care of the chickens. Like they just, yeah.
So anyway, it's like the sustainables, I think it'd be really fun.
No, I like that. I like that idea, but it's hard to find people who have the bandwidth to make.
I'll bet Eric Hayes out.
I mean,
Dave, have you approached the school district on this?
No, they. No, I've had 3 kids go through the school. I love the school district and John Simpson there, but hey, I'm how are you? But I've offered several different ideas in curriculum, and they aren't automatically embraced. But I haven't even touched the sustainability issue with them. And given people like Eric Hayes, is doing something obviously, and we have your commission that's doing some great things. And what the big overarching thing is what's grows forever or something, or what's the growth green or whatever, but it's like it's a great initiative, and so that could really change things. Their perspective on this from a kid's standpoint. So anyway, but that's it. That's just what I want to say. So thank you.
Great, thank you, Dave, for stopping by. Good food for thought.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess I don't see Councilmember Bliss here today.
No.
Okay. Or is she on Zoom?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll pass that. And Todd, any updates from you?
I do not. I'll bring up about the pumpkin smash, the location of that, and then I was thinking for the glass recycling that we could also maybe put one of those bins down in front of the service center in the parking lot that's down there. So I'm going to meet with Frank, and we're going to see if that would be a good spot or not.
Okay. On the I know Elizabeth had mentioned before she had to jump, she had mentioned about the pumpkin smash. I know this is on the agenda for later, but since you're bringing it up, is there going to be a dedicated window of time for collection for that, or is it just, are we going to leave that out?
Yeah, no, she has the dates. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
It's usually like the Saturday after Halloween, right?
It is.
We try and I know she tries to get it before there's been a trash pickup if possible.
Right.
So it's probably going to be like.
I'm looking at her emails. I think it's in here somewhere. Oh, is the weekend of November 4th and 5th.
Okay. Because I know in the past when it was at the behind the middle school, behind Moss, it was like whatever 8 o'clock till noon. We accepted pumpkins. Are we going to have a similar window of time, or is it just going to kind of these bins going to be out there for the entire weekend?
I think it's going to be sitting out there. She says Friday drop off and pick up Monday morning, so it'll be there all weekend.
Yeah, I guess I'll need to ask her. In the past, I'm assuming in the past.
Yeah, I think it was only like a 4-hour window in the past.
Yeah. I guess we can solicit volunteers to shift, maybe do a couple of shifts that Saturday morning. Because otherwise I just kind of sense, I don't know, it could get kind of messy with people just throwing pumpkins out their window.
Yeah. I'll have to have my street guys clean it up if there's a big mess.
Well, it'd be ideal.
Where is it going to be?
At the service center. Out in the front parking lot, outside the gate.
Okay. Does 8 to 12 sound good with maybe, have 2 windows where some of us could be out there and help people unload and
Yeah, and I wonder do you think that telling people they're there all weekend would lead to people not coming? Just in the sense that I know for me, like if yeah, you just put it off and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't do that. Whereas if they have this targeted window of time, they might actually be more likely to schedule it and show up.
yeah, I think I would think urging people to come during that window that Saturday morning would be
Agree. Okay.
Because people are out running errands and going to their kids' soccer games, and they would just drive off and unload pumpkins from their car, and we would smash them up and throw them in the bin.
So maybe just change it to Saturday.
I think that's traditionally what we've done is done Saturday morning.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Okay.
I think this is off the meeting now.
Well, I will.
Elizabeth, yeah, she had to.
Yeah.
It should leave.
Yeah, I can send Elizabeth an email and we can coordinate.
I'm happy to help with that too. I can meet up with her that day probably for a couple hours.
Okay, great. And I can certainly make if everyone can kind of do their best to get out there for either like 8 to 10 or 10 to 12, maybe we can coordinate that and have it staffed up the entire 4 hours. Okay, well, let's why don't we move on to old business and the solar update. I was hoping Sean would be here.
Yeah, I don't know why she's not.
Well, she might have had something come up. I know. Was anyone able to attend the Grow Solar events that could?
I did.
Karen, do you mind giving a short?
No, John and I were both there, and John announced to them the incentive for the Webster Groves incentive, and they were happy to hear that. There were about 20 people there, and the Grow Solar people were surprised. They said the last one they went to, there was hardly anybody there, so they were really pleased. It was really well received. Several people were expressing interest. I don't know, do you have any questions about it?
Did they say anything about the availability of a program in 2024? I know that was kind of open.
They said they didn't know yet.
Okay. Well, I was really impressed to see the turnout, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, so when we met last, the idea of having a solar open house was still, or some sort of a solar tour was still on the table. And in case you all didn't, get word about this, I think the decision was made to that the timeline for trying to put something like that together was just way too aggressive. Given that the council was voted on it or reviewed the idea on October 3rd, and we were talking about doing something in mid to late October. So I think with the transition in leadership of the commission and the fact that we took the month of July off, I think it was just a lot to try to put something like that together at the last minute and get word out. So I think we need to start thinking right now about looking at spring. I know in the fall and winter, holidays, it's just probably not the ideal time. But I thought maybe it's worth thinking about trying to put something together in March, perhaps sometime in the spring to really talk about and promote what we're doing, what the city's doing with respect to encouraging, incentivizing solar. That'll give us a little bit more lead time in both marketing this and thinking about what we want to do. So I guess I'll just leave it at that unless anyone has any questions.
I have a thought on that, in that if we have to spend our incentive money by the end of June, that's the end of the fiscal year, right?
Yes.
We might want to think about doing that sooner than later so that because it takes some time.
Right.
And people decide they want to think about solar, and then getting to the point of actually signing on to do it is, that takes time.
You just to
Right.
clarify on that, and I feel like this was in one of the materials, but so let's say I went to an event in March, or a citizen did, and thought about it for a month and signed up in April, but contractors didn't come out and actually do the work until after June. So would you, as long as you'd signed sort of committed to it, would you be eligible for the incentive?
I'll have to check, because there is a way for us to earmark that money so it doesn't go away. Normally what we do is we put it into a purchase order, and that way it's set to that project. So maybe I'll have to get with finance and see if that's the way we can do it. Set the money into a purchase order and then just draw out of that purchase order as we get final.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to get some clarity on, because I don't see all of that $20,000 being exhausted given the current rate of rooftop solar projects in Webster. It's hard, even with this $500 rebate or grant, it's hard to see all of that being exhausted by the end of June. So I think something for next meeting or something to discuss, and try to get some input from Pam on this to understand, from my understanding, is how likely is it that they would roll some of that money over for the next year, or not? Well,
it would be a new budget year, so they would allocate new money.
Okay.
So the existing money, like I said, I'll have to get with finance and see if we can set it up as a purchase order for solar. And then as people, get their final inspections after June, the money's still sitting there, and then we can just draw out of that purchase order to pay.
Okay. And one thing that I came across that I thought was interesting relative to this, it didn't come across this information until after all of this had happened, but we had discussion about why the number of solar installations, residential solar installations in Webster had gone down year over year. And I saw some data from Bloomberg New Energy Finance about national data, and there was a really big drop off in national level residential solar installations. And I think a lot of it had to do with just supply chain issues that have been a problem with the industry. So, I'm putting two and two together and thinking that's probably, what's happening here. But I did find that interesting when I think Mara gave Sean those numbers about relatively few installations. So, hopefully that picks up, and by all indications from the attendance at the Grow Solar event, there's certainly a lot of interest out there. So,
and I have something else to add to that.
Sure.
Hopefully this is the last thing. The deadline for Grow Solar's buy-in program is November 18th. And so if we want to make sure that people know that incentive is available, it seems like a public education push now would be a reasonable thing to think about, so that if they want to participate.
I can have Sean get with Jenny, our public relations lady, and have her put it out there on social and other things.
Yeah, I think you make a good point about trying to really push this at every opportunity to make people know it's out there. I'm sorry, I should have paid attention to this. I was out of town last week, but was there any coverage in the Webster Kirkwood Times of the rebate? Does anyone know?
I think there was an article that council had passed it.
Yeah. Okay. But anything we can do, I think, between now and then to continue to get the word out so people take advantage of it would be great. Okay, Pumpkin Smash, I think we covered that. The red bag pickup at the rec center and city hall. Who had that last month? Was
I did it once
I was
and
gonna
then,
say, I did it once and then I didn't have another date to do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm going to the rec center regularly right now, and if I can make myself keep doing
look
that.
at you.
I picked them up once, and I'm happy to pick them up regularly until I lose my incentive. So I can take on the rec center.
I was saying, do you wanna wait and, cause the, Scott Davis lets me know, he goes, hey, the thing's getting full, and I can email you and say, hey, the thing in the rec center's getting full, and then you can go then.
I mean, you could certainly do that.
If you wanna do it that way.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
And then when I come up here to City Hall, I'll check on the one up here, and if it's getting, I'll reach out to you for that too. So.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. My daughter has moved in right near that recycling center, so
Oh, yeah, right, the curb.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take it on.
Thank you. You know, it's a funny thing because we did that because of somebody complaining about all the red bags. I don't think we're getting many of those. We're getting other plastic bags, which is, it's good. It's good that we're giving people a way to recycle their plastic bags, but I don't know what's happening. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, should we still be doing it? Or is there a better way? I don't really know. Does that make sense?
They're doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I picked it up, I think maybe it was about a week and a half ago. And it looked like, I mean, they look full.
Yeah.
As soon as people get a few in, and then people keep cramming them in and cramming them in.
But I'm just wondering if this is sustainable the way we're doing it. You know, long term. So.
Well, as long as I can do it, then I'm happy.
Yeah.
Happy to do
I think
it.
we're good for now.
Great, thanks for taking that on. All right, the next item on the agenda is the Eco Lecture Series. Carla, do you mind?
No, yeah, I don't. So let me ask, since I wasn't here last time, did you all talk about the questions that I had sent coming out of our subcommittee meeting?
We ran out of time.
Okay. Well, one of the things they want to know, the Green Space Commission wants to know, is if we want to partner with them again next year. And I have to say, I don't know, because it's been a lot, with Jamie gone, especially. So I don't know, like I can't be a point person for anything else in my life. I became the chair of my department, and you know, so I've sort of been doing that because I'm the one who made the room reservation, but I can't do that again. I mean, I can make the room reservation again, but I can't be the point person. So I don't know what to tell them.
Is there any way to table this until next month, when hopefully, you know, we can have, you know, send out feelers and see if there's any interest in someone else taking that on?
Sure. Yeah, so we'll table that. So we have someone coming Thursday, I hope, that Elizabeth was going to check in with to make sure they were still planning to come. And we never found anyone to be our representative, and Jamie very kindly offered to do it. So Jamie's gonna do that.
Jamie's gonna represent
us.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday. Okay.
Yeah, she's going to introduce the speaker and everything.
Okay.
And she came to the last one, so she knows where it is. She kind of knows the drill. For the November one, I know that is a speaker that Elizabeth has a personal connection with, so I'm guessing maybe she's planning to be there. I probably can do the November one if necessary. I haven't looked at my calendar, but yeah, it's just felt a little precarious. So I don't know, but we didn't get very many people at the Eric Hayes talk, which was too bad because it was really, really good. On the other hand, I don't think he minded. He seemed to prefer a small group, you know, a more small, more informal group. So I don't know. A few of us have been emailing, and I think John was going to share the city Facebook event that Jenny made today, but I don't know that we're really getting the word out, or maybe people aren't interested. I don't really know. So, yeah, I think we need to talk about it some more. Would this be an okay time to bring up the other things that the subcommittee talked about?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'll try to make it quick. All right, so they are also very deep into this Dark Skies initiative and wanted to discuss with us if we wanted to support it. And also they had a couple different ideas. One was to actually propose an ordinance to city council, which to do some things that would help diminish the light pollution. And at first we were kind of like, I don't know, there might be some pushback, but Corin explained that all the ordinance changes that they are looking at would not directly affect individual citizens, that Ameren would have to do or would do a lot of it. So
we would have to for the decorative lights.
Yeah. So he did send, I think I maybe shared a document that with everybody when I sent these questions out way back before our last meeting, a document about it. So it would be great to be able to get back to him about that. Do we have any, I mean, I know we don't have the document in front of us, so I'm not sure.
It was just the ordinance with a couple of proposed changes
Right.
in it, the current ordinance.
Yeah. I mean, I could pull it up on my computer, but I don't know how much time we have.
I am happy to take on that subject.
Okay.
Never. That's one of my pet peeves.
But are we at a state where maybe we could say, yes, we want to support it. Yes, we think proposing an ordinance to council would be the way to go. Or just changes, I mean.
Is that your recommendation, John?
I was convinced, yeah, that would be, I mean, like I said, at first I was like, I don't know, but then he said most individual people really aren't going to have to do anything.
It would really just be you guys partnering with them, and it'll all come from green space to the council.
Okay.
But you're just supporting them is what it would be.
Are you informing me or asking?
Yeah, I'm informing.
Good, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So
because it's green space's thing to take it to the council,
Okay.
and they're just asking you if you're going to support it. So,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, so I would ask, just because some of us aren't here, is that something we could put on the November agenda for an action item, just so we have time to? Because I remember it, but
unless I take it to council in
I don't
November.
know how long they can wait. I mean,
Okay.
or how long they're willing to wait. We had the conversation on September 6th, so
Okay.
it's been a while already.
There's a council meeting next week, but then the next one will be November 7th.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they'll have it on the November 7th or the next one, the 21st.
Do you want me to I can pull these up maybe here and we can see do you remember what they were, Karen? You probably don't remember, do you?
I don't remember the details.
All right. I think right here. Yeah, so the changes, let's see. It's outdoor lighting standards. And one of the suggestions is insert, I think, the whole thing in general zoning, so lighting is no longer haphazard and an afterthought, modeled after Ellisville's recently enacted section whatever outdoor lighting requirements, with added sections based on something from Clayton and Olivet. Key provisions of Webster Groves section 20.300 to 303, and I must confess I don't know what that is, have been incorporated and could be deleted, since this section references code provisions that do not exist. Under applicability, he said, drafted to give Webster Groves flexibility on outdoor lighting. Then maybe they wrote this ordinance, or this part of the ordinance. I don't have the ordinances in front of me, the current one, so I don't really know.
So I'm looking at what you sent, caller, and it looks like, my guess is that the red text in here is what they're suggesting be changes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not even seeing any red text. Is this the same thing that you?
Yep.
Okay, it's just showing up different. Is this what you're seeing then as red?
Seems like there wasn't a big change. Was it just a paragraph inserted? Yeah, I'm thinking of something.
Oh, right here. Okay. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, it's
so
showing up over here for me, I guess.
it was
Yeah.
drafted by the fellow, and I can't remember his name.
Jake Roenicker.
Right, from Missouri Darty Skies. And he is heavily invested in that, and it would be my opinion that if he made suggestions that he's done his homework.
So I think, I mean, from my perspective, from a protocol perspective, Jeff, I don't know if you have a view on this, but I mean, if our subcommittee members are in favor of it, then I'm not going to second guess that. And I think it'd be fair enough to tell I mean, it sounds like we're not the ones actually bringing it to council.
Right.
I mean, I'm certainly comfortable saying
you're
I
gonna
trust you guys'
them.
opinion to support it.
Yep.
But I don't think that needs a vote here though, right?
I don't think so. Just you know, subcommittee members just reach out to the other subcommittee members of Green Space and say, you know, yeah, we're gonna support you guys so you can move forward with it. So yeah.
Great. And then this last thing I think we can wait on, but we talked a little bit about the stormwater plan, which you know, my memory's so bad, but I don't know how much you all remember, but there was a point when we were like, oh my gosh, why do we even need a new stormwater management plan? Well, it's because in the subcommittee, when we were talking to some of the guests that we brought in, we learned that we needed an updated one to get certain federal and state funds.
Grants.
Yeah. And so one of the things Corin brought up is, you know, we're going to have an updated plan soon. So what can we do as are we commissions? Yes, as commissions to help the city figure out how to leverage this plan to get some funds.
To go along with that, we are putting out a online survey. That questionnaire that I gave you guys, we're gonna put that out online for residents to fill out and give us their input on what kind of stormwater problems that they're seeing throughout the city, so that we can use that to build our plan. The consultant can use it then to come up with the projects that we're gonna need to move forward on.
So that'll help us figure out what grants to look
And then
for.
once we have those capital projects laid out, then we can go for grants for those capital projects. Yes.
So the consultant will identify capital projects, city council will decide which ones they want to do, and then we can go.
And then they'll budget the money to do it, and then we'll go for grants to get reimbursed.
I see.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Cool.
All right. Okay, so just procedurally, we don't officially need a vote to endorse. Okay, great. As long as everyone's, you know, good with that, I'm good with it.
Sorry, I wasn't more prepared.
Oh, that's all right. You know,
Well, you thought we were gonna do it last time.
got a lot of balls in the air.
Well, I didn't know what happened last time, but that was
Sorry, I should have let you
that's
know.
it. That's okay.
Okay, I'd ask Sean if she would kind of give us a quick update on the greenhouse gas benchmarking, but since she's not here, we'll skip over that.
I can give a little update.
Yeah.
So
thanks.
she has reached out to me to ask, because we're in charge of the fleet, the city fleet.
Yeah.
So we know how the fuel usage is for the fleet. So I'm putting together all the numbers of how much gasoline and how much diesel we've used over the past year to give to Sean so that she can use that input into her data.
Gotcha. All right. And then I think under new business, Green Dining Alliance. Amna, is anything new on that front?
There's nothing new.
Okay.
We're still kind of holding pattern, waiting on Eric to Eric Peterson.
Right.
Set up the micrograms.
The grant process.
Okay. All right. And then as far as the holiday light collection, I think that was that something Michael had sort of taken the lead on? I know he's not here. Look at.
He said he had a bunch of meetings this afternoon.
That's
right. Okay.
Well, once we pass these ordinances, maybe there won't be any more holiday lights.
Dark sky with a lot of holiday lights.
Let's see.
They're not that bright.
No, no.
I was gonna look at Sean's email real quick and see. Yeah, I think she was going to she added that to the agenda thinking, yeah, Mike is the commission point person on that. So we will hopefully circle back. I'll check in with that with Mike by email and then see if we can't get something on the November agenda. I know we've had a lot going on. So my hope is that, maybe we can do some planning, one of the next couple meetings as a commission to try to kind of streamline and figure out what our priorities are going to be for 2024. Cause we've had so busy.
Yeah.
Jeff, just sort of a random question regarding, I think when we were on the traffic advisory subcommittee that we were both on, there was discussion in that context about seeing if we could get aggregated data on bike usage, pedestrian usage within the city from Strava.
Yeah.
Was another source. Do we be able to get that?
We have a login. I mean, I can talk about that with you. I don't know. It's just a matter of kind of gaining some expertise and how to mine that to get some insights.
Okay. Yeah, I just was thinking of that. I am interested in talking about that. We can do that offline.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to dig into that a little bit more. So, all right. So looks like I'm looking at, looks like next meeting is set for November the 20th. Seeing how that corresponds with the holiday.
That is a holiday week. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. For those who are here, is that going to be a problem for anyone? Do we need to bump that?
Should be okay for me.
I think it's as good as any other.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. All right. We'll leave it as is then. And just in general, I mean, I know we've had a lot of turnover in the commission since we sort of set the third Monday as the meeting date. And I don't want to do anything to disrupt that because I'm sure everyone's got different conflicts on different days of the week. So, but
plus the other city meetings too.
Exactly. So yeah. But if it is a concern, if that's a hard time for anyone on a regular basis, just reach out and we can maybe take that up down the road. But just wanted to float that out there. Okay. Anyone have anything else that Carla?
Question, which probably does not need to be raised in the whole group, but when I became part of the commission, I wasn't like I shouldn't say a real member, but I was like a Strava member.
Yeah.
Do you know, what is the status of my?
You're a full member now.
I'm a full
you were
member.
an alternate member.
I was alternate. Now I'm
you're a full member.
Are we all filled up?
Yes.
Okay.
We're all.
Yeah.
And do we have terms that last a certain amount of time?
Yes.
So
It's on the roster. I can send you the roster and it shows you when your term.
Because I have lost all track of time.
Because then,
Yeah.
when your term is coming to expire, you can ask the council to renew your term.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Normally you'll get an email from Katie saying, hey, your term is about to expire.
Okay.
Do you want to
continue?
apply
and
for
then she'll take it to the council and then
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
I'll send out the roster.
That would be super helpful. Thank you, Tyler.
Okay. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Hope to see you in person next time.
I
Thanks,
got
Jeff.